What if you had the proven roadmap to dominate competition and your market? Would that make it easier for you, whether you sell on Amazon, whether you sell on eBay, whether you sell on Etsy, or maybe just selling on your own store? Would that be helpful? If you answered yes, well, you're in luck, because that's what you're going to learn in this episode. Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Amazing Seller Podcast. My name is Scott Volker, and I'm here to help you build a future-proof business so you can create the ultimate freedom. But, and there's always a but, you have to take what you learn in this podcast and take action, and you can become the amazing seller of your life. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's do this. All right. Well, I am really excited to be able to share this proven roadmap with you. And this roadmap is coming from a 7-figure business owner. And I did not say an Amazon seller because they're much more than that. And her name is Alex. And she did a full session at Brand Accelerator Live. And the only way that you were able to sit in on this was to either attend the event, which you should in the future, by the way, brandacceleratorlive.com. And it's a great event. It's all about building your brand. But the only way that you could get this is to go to that event, or if you would have grabbed the recordings when we offered them. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this whole session that she did in front of about 200 people at our Brand Accelerator Live event. And the reason why I'm doing this, a couple different reasons. It's around the holidays. I want to give you a really nice gift, and I feel this is a great gift. This is something that could totally change your business, but really also drive the point home of what I've been saying. If you take the time and the effort to build out your own assets, and it really does come down to traffic assets, and that's what she's done for the past 6 years now, 6+ years probably at this point. And you're going to hear her talk about a little bit about how she got to where she is, but then from there, she's going to switch it over to where she's going to give you action steps and take you through this entire process. And what she's teaching is doable right now. And actually, it's more important now than ever, because you guys have heard me talk lately about like people that are just going down the, I'm going to launch an Amazon product and that's going to be my business model. Very, very, very risky. Now, are you going to use that channel? Absolutely. She's using that channel, but she used that channel to really leverage her traffic and then have Amazon take care of all of the logistics and stuff. I almost couldn't say logistics there. So I want you to take this and listen to it. I want you to also probably re-listen to it and take notes. And the other thing I want to say right here, a couple things before we jump in here, is if you have not gone through our brand growth validation checklist, you are going to want to do that, because what she's talking about as far as building out her business, her brand, every box got checked in that brand growth validation checklist. All right. I go through 2 live examples in that free training as well. So if you go to brandcreators.com, you'll find that there. And then the other thing is, little announcement here, depending on when you're listening to this, but if you've been waiting to get into Brand Creators Academy, that's where we're doing a live open case study of building a brand. We're also having all of our members in there. They're being transparent and open with their brands, and we're able to do deep dives, and we do 2 monthly calls. We also do deep dives like hot seats. We do a whole bunch of stuff, and so many people are taking massive action in there. So if you are interested in joining us, be ready on January 6th, 2020. We're going to be opening for just a week, and we only open enrollment a few times per year, because the rest of the time we are in there rolling up our sleeves, building brands. That's what we're doing. All right. So if you're at all interested, make sure that you go through the free training. It's pretty much a must. It's mandatory, if you will, to go through that even before you would consider joining. And the reason why is because when you join, we want you to be in the right mindset. We also want you to have the clear vision of what we're doing here and understanding the key and the core principles of building out a brand. So make sure that you go through that. That's brandcreators.com. That'll give you all of the free training that I've created up to this point around this process. So make sure that you do that. But everything that Alex has done is really following this blueprint as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and like I said, get ready to take some massive notes. Enjoy.
on, let her hear ya. Woo! Careful on the steps. Thank you. Good.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing okay after lunch. How are we all feeling? Now, before I get started, I really have to say that Scott's been saying some good and bad things about me. And they're all lies. So please, right now, forget everything he said. And as I share with you today a little bit about how I've built my business, how I've created a brand, and how building that brand helped me launch my physical product business as well. So, that's what I'm doing. And a little bit about me. My name is Alex. I have a website called travelfashiongirl.com. That's where I teach women how to travel in a carry-on suitcase. It's a very niche website, and I launched it 7 years ago. We have 1 million monthly visitors, about 2 million monthly page views, and we also have a 7-figure revenue as well. But it doesn't always start right there, or actually, it never starts with those numbers right away. You don't wake up one day and say, hey, I want to have a website about packing a suitcase. It starts with a problem. So in my case, in 2008, I quit my corporate job, a corporate job that I really liked, just so you guys know. I want to put that disclaimer out there. And I decided to take a 3-month sabbatical, and I traveled the world. Those 3 months ended up turning into 9 years of living out of a suitcase and having perpetual long-term travel. And halfway along the way, I realized that I had a bit of an issue. I was tired of carrying a big giant bag, all the wrong things. And I set out to look online and research. If there's any old school travelers in the crowd, I went to the Lonely Planet Thorntree forum back in the day because there weren't really that many blogs at that point or Instagram, a lot of information about what to pack. And the information I got was probably from a guy that looked like this, who wasn't really, I couldn't really resonate with him, but he shared that I should pack 3 quick-dry tees, 1 pair of convertible pants, and 3 pairs of underwear that I could flip inside out every other day. And I'm sure nobody here, male or female, does that, so I'll give you guys that credibility, but I certainly wouldn't do that just to save some space in my suitcase. So I realized there wasn't the information that I needed. So as I was on the road in 2011, backpacking around the world, I started talking to other female travelers, other backpackers, and I started asking them, how did you pack? What worked? What didn't work? And I figured out that everybody seemed to have a similar issue. Nobody felt that they had done things the right way. So I found a problem in the market, and I set out to solve that problem because I really wanted to help other female travelers avoid my mistakes. Because when you pack all the wrong stuff or you carry a big giant suitcase through the small spaces in the trains in Italy and staircases or whatnot, it really does make your trip a little bit more stressful. So I shared this information, launched the blog on August 2012, and it had instantaneous positive response. We had 35,000 unique monthly visitors within the first 6 months, 100,000 within the first year, and it's pretty much about doubled ever since then. So we have about 2,000 pages on the blog now, and from the very beginning, I was optimizing all the articles for SEO. So back in the day, 1 blog post, 1 keyword. So I figure the more blog posts you have, the more keywords that you'll have. Consequently, the more traffic, the more revenue. So, but, let's take it back a notch because it's always intimidating, especially when you're starting a new business, when you're looking at some numbers that seem unachievable and a business model that you're not familiar with. But remember, I was a girl. I was just a person that was traveling. This is a picture of me on the first day of my 2010 round the world trip. Packing, I had a bunch of stuff hanging off of my shoulders, and a regular person that I uncovered a problem, I found a solution, and I wanted to share my knowledge. I created free content. I delivered value. I wasn't there selling people. At that point, I was just trying to help people. Well, I'm still trying to help people, but I marketed my content using SEO because there's no point in creating content if nobody's going to find it, and also using social media, which back then the SEO guys told me would never weigh in on the search results. Because I was doing that, I was then gaining traffic, which then in turn, I got an audience through my social media channels. I earned the audience's trust. They asked me questions. I gave them information. I helped them. And because a lot of people weren't doing it, a lot of people still aren't doing it, I became an authority figure in this very particular niche. And as I'm hearing what people are saying, I'm listening to their questions, listening to their problems, and also to their advice, I discovered that there was an opportunity for certain products, whether it was ebooks, digital products, or physical products. And I was able to then create products that met their needs, even using their input. What kind of an adapter? What's wrong with the adapters on the market? Things like that. And in turn, it was a cyclical effect, and I was able then to sell with integrity. So what I sold, I knew they wanted, and that was very organic, and I felt really good about that. So let's talk about selling organically for a moment. How does that work? We're not all publishers. We're not all interested in becoming publishers. So let me break down the online ecosystem very quickly, so it's just a little bit clear. The blog is where I house the content, the free information that I provide. It's also a traffic driver because I have SEO. Then I also use Pinterest to drive traffic to my website. And Pinterest is not a social media channel. It really is a search engine, much like Google. I then use the Facebook group where my community hangs out. They didn't want to go to the website. They didn't want a separate forum. They wanted just to be able to chat on the Facebook group. So that's where a lot of the core fans hang out, where the engagement's happening. The Facebook page is where I'm kind of sharing my information, and it's really targeting the 35 plus fans, or it's really where I've discovered that my fans are, or the website's fans. And Instagram, that's where the under 30, under 35 audience hangs out. YouTube, something new that I've been doing, I'll share how I've been repurposing my content. And lastly, the newsletter. The newsletter is really important because the people that bother to sign up for my email list, those are the people that care about the products I have. Those are the people that will purchase the products. I can always count on those people to support and be excited and then become the raving fans. When I'm talking about free content, about how I delivered value, I created a really basic YouTube video back in 2013 that I was talking about how to use packing cubes. I wasn't selling packing cubes. I wasn't saying, buy these packing cubes. I was really just showing people how to use them. And they've now become one of the products that I sell. Now I'm doing this. I'm doing actually Facebook Lives, where the same thing. I sell travel adapter, and I'm not telling people, this travel adapter is great because I'm explaining, well, this is how voltage works. This is what you need when you're traveling, converters versus adapters. I also create guides with visuals, explaining, providing links, really thorough guides. And in addition, I have checklists and printables or ebooks like the Travel Wardrobe Essentials, which is free, that people can then get when they sign up to my email list. So this is all the free stuff I've created for the audience from day one. And I did earn revenue by providing value because every single time somebody purchased one of the products through my website, I gained commission, whether as an Amazon associate or through another commission program. I was able to get, I think, about 4 to 20% on every purchase. And people were looking for me to do this. They were upset, actually, when I wasn't linking to products. So this was something that helped them and, in turn, also gave me revenue. And as traffic was coming in later on, I also added another revenue option, which was ad networks. I'm currently using AdThrive, and that's become one of the biggest revenue drivers for the business as well. I really wish I had done it sooner, but the ad networks have allowed me to really monetize that traffic in a different way. So this is a breakdown of my revenue sources. As you see, a big chunk of that is Amazon Associates. So my audience is used to shopping on Amazon. It's comfortable, it's easy, they get Prime, they love it. They can get basically pretty much everything they need for a trip. A smaller piece of that, but still sizable, for 14%, is AdThrive, the ad network that I use. Reward Style is something similar to Amazon. It's where I promote products that go to Nordstrom, the department store. And then you'll see that the Amazon Seller Central has become 18% of my business now. That's something I didn't see, and when I launched my physical products, I really did it to diversify my revenue. I wanted to be able to have some other revenue streams come in. And so far, it's been doing really well. We launched just under 2 years ago, and we've been on Amazon for 1 year. Anatomy's a brand that I work with, the only brand that I work with. This is a commission I get, and send out a little bit smaller are ebooks. Now, the content strategy that I have, in the beginning, I used to write my own content. I would publish 5 to 7 articles per week. Then eventually I hired freelance writers. But what I love about what's happened now with my brand and with the community is that they are now creating the content for me. On the Facebook group, I'm hearing their discussions, and now they're involved. They're helping each other, which means I don't have to answer their questions. They're answering each other's questions. So this is really great, especially for people that are in the e-commerce business selling a product that they're not familiar with in a market they don't understand. For example, I know I met a guy that sold corsets on Amazon because it was a great opportunity, but he had no idea why women would want to wear these tight corsets under their clothing. And frankly, neither do I. But in this case, even though I'm a girl and I wear mascara, it doesn't necessarily mean that this particular topic was concerning to me. But having this community gave me direct insight and opportunities. And in this case, it's a content opportunity. I took all their discussions about mascaras, all their suggestions, and repurposed it into a blog post, or my writer and editor repurposed it into a blog post, which I then optimized with a keyword, best waterproof mascara, which then would bring traffic in. And the next time this popular topic gets discussed in the Facebook group or on another social media channel, I just share the link. So if someone purchases one of these products, I can then get commission. Another really simple content flow, because at this point, I'm all about how to maximize my time, is creating Facebook Lives. And I have to admit, I was very hesitant to be the face of my brand. I didn't set out to create Travel Fashion Girl to be about me. I am not the Travel Fashion Girl. It was really about other women. But what I found is that they started resonating with me every single time they saw a face, an experience tied in with the brand. They liked more Instagram pictures. They bought more things. We created a relationship. So I gave in and started using myself as face of the brand. I started now using Facebook Lives. I love Facebook Lives because I create a multi-channel content strategy with like 30 to 60 minutes of my time on Facebook Live. I just do it as I would a webinar, have my light, have my phone set up, and I just go through. I walk in and just say, today we're going to be talking about the best waterproof mascaras. I'm going to show you where to buy them, what the benefits are, and what trips they would be good for. And I just start and I go like that. As people show up on Facebook Live, and it doesn't matter if you have 100, or 1,000 people watching, what's really important is that I'm treating it as a webinar. If people are asking questions, I incorporate them naturally into the conversation, and I'm addressing them without saying, hey, Shannon, thanks for joining me from Iowa. Good morning to you too. How's the weather over there? So that way I can reuse the same video on YouTube. So I would have a video editor take that 30 to 60 minute Facebook Live and repurpose it for YouTube. It can be anywhere from a 5-minute video to a 10, 15-minute video. I have that transcribed on rev.com, and I like Rev for transcription. It's just easy. I press 2 buttons and done. It's purchased, and I get the transcription really quickly. And then after it's transcribed, one of my writers or editors will then take the transcription and turn it into an article with a flow. And of course, before I'm going on Facebook Live, I do have a general outline of what I'm talking about. So I love that content strategy. And you may not want to be the face of your brand, but you can hire people or a variety of personalities to do this for you, or influencers like me with an audience. So I really wanted to quickly break down a little bit of my content flow and start with an article like a traditional website, and then from there you share it on social. You can use that same content on to your email list, on your newsletter. And then when I see that a blog post topic is really popular, I then create a Facebook Live about it. So then I can share it on YouTube, turn it into social content, and hey, we've got a new video, there's a new Facebook Live, more information for the newsletter. The other option that I like is a Facebook Live funneling to YouTube. You can also extract the audio from your Facebook Live and use it as a podcast episode if you wanted to. turn it into a blog post as I've shown you, use it in your newsletter, and share it on social. I'm all about maximizing my time. And I did also touch on SEO. SEO has been a big reason why I was able to grow so quickly, and it continues to be the main organic traffic driver. I don't pay for PPC, not for the website. I don't pay for ads. I've done Facebook ads with Monica, actually, who's speaking this afternoon, and that was a great way to add traffic to the website, but it's not the major part. And as you're able to see my traffic sources, you'll be able to see that. The great thing about SEO is whether I'm promoting one of my products or one of my affiliate products, I have the opportunity to rank that on Google. And Google is very similar to Amazon in the way that people are going on Google researching a product with the intent to buy. People are going to Amazon purchasing, but they're going on Google to find out what they should buy and comparison shop. So when people are finding my articles here, I know they're going to purchase. And I'm actually ranking here for a branded keyword for another company. So that's really impressive because they might know that Osprey is a good brand, but they'll go and look at my review and then click the link and I'll get commission on that $200 backpack, which is pretty cool. So these are my traffic sources. You'll see about 80% is all organic. That's predominantly Google. And a very small percentage is social. And out of that percentage of social, a good majority of that is Pinterest. Despite the fact that I spend a lot of time on Facebook and I haven't really made an effort on Pinterest since 2016, it continues to be a big traffic driver. And out of 1 million monthly visitors, I'd say that's really strong traffic. And then the rest is direct, a little bit more minimal, but I can't stress how important SEO is to your strategy for content. And ultimately, the community is really important when you have a product because if you're showing up to sell, buy this, buy that, they don't know you, why should they buy from you? It's kind of like meeting someone on the street and going up to them and saying, hey, buy my product. Well, why? They don't know you. That's very informal. And I don't think you do that on a date either, in theory. But, it's about creating a relationship. So don't show up necessarily to sell people, show up to help people. Give them how-to information. Give them free things. How can you serve them? Because in turn, you'll be able to create revenue based on that. So I have one really key thing as an Amazon associate or as someone that sells other people's products on my website to get commission. I have data, unique data, things that people don't have. Access to things like this on the back end of Amazon Associates. I have 2,000 pages on my website. I know what people are buying on every single page. I know what colors, what quantity, what's being returned, what people like, what they dislike. I'm discovering new products to talk about on the website. I then can say these things are the best sellers, not based on what Amazon's telling me are best sellers. I know what's best selling for my own audience, which is that much stronger and it's that much more powerful because it's unique insight into my audience. So it's like I'm catering to them. And they say now, I'll buy anything on your website because I know it's going to be good. I know it's a great recommendation. And I'm not counting on Amazon reviews to tell me that. I'm counting on their purchases. I can leverage this, which is how I create content and I've developed my physical products. So first, let's talk about affiliate products. So you may have a physical product brand right now, and you're looking to expand. Maybe you do want to get into publishing. The great thing is, if you're a publisher, you can actually monetize your business whether or not someone buys your product. So in this case, I discovered that these particular boots, a brand I had no idea about, were really popular. People kept on recommending them. I kept on seeing them sold on Amazon in high quantities. So I decided just to buy the boots. I don't like contacting brands for free stuff because I just find it easier to spend the $100, and if it works, I'll know I'll sell hundreds or thousands and make that money way more back. So it just makes it easy for me. So I went and did an unboxing video on Facebook Live. I said, hey, I know you guys love these boots, so I decided to check them out for myself. I liked them, I tested them out, and then I created a YouTube video really quickly, 3-minute video with my phone. Everything I do is simplified because I don't have time or the mental capacity to have all this equipment with me, plus as a full-time traveler. So I created a short 3-minute video that I was then able to turn into an article based on a product I already knew they liked. It didn't have to be my product, but I knew they would buy it, and I get commission on these $100 boots. I get about 8% when someone purchases. So that's pretty cool. The other unique insight that I get as an Amazon associate, and I get to leverage my data for, it's physical products. Now, this is really important. It's something I didn't realize that I had versus just launching a product on Amazon, because I knew that these 3 random products were selling on my site. Well, packing cubes, I spoke a lot about packing cubes because they're really what helped me travel carry-on only. But the adapter and the bra stash, they're things I knew because of the data, and I knew what people were interested in. These are the 3 products in my line. This is what I'm selling on Amazon. They look like they're not jointed, but it doesn't matter because I know that people are buying them. However, when I was looking to start a product line, I found that nobody would work with me. I wanted to partner with Amazon sellers, people that already had experience selling their products on Amazon, because I wasn't interested in learning a whole new business model. And personally, I don't like manufacturing. I tried manufacturing a lingerie line when I was 19, didn't work out well, and I didn't want to do it again. That's not what I do. I do marketing, I don't do design and product creation. But all the Amazon sellers that I turned to or that were initially interested in working with me, they shut me down. They shut me down because certain third-party programs that we're not going to mention told them that my products were not the right Amazon fit. They told them that packing cubes were really competitive, the travel adapters weren't enough high in margins, that they were saturated in the market, and they wouldn't work. And the bra stash, yeah, well, that was a good product, but it didn't really have the demand on Amazon, so they didn't want to work with me. That was very discouraging. However, what I realized down the line is it didn't really matter what was selling on Amazon, because I didn't need to rely on Amazon to sell for me. And they were right. I didn't have an FBA product. It wasn't the ideal thing. It wasn't bamboo sticks or whatever opportunity there was that you're told is high in revenue. I knew what the audience was buying, and that was golden as a publisher. And even if you're not interested in having a website and creating your own audience, you can leverage other people's audiences, because the vast majority of influencers or publishers like me do not know this strategy. And I don't understand why more e-commerce brands don't look to partner with people that already have an audience. You build a brand, but you don't have an audience. They have an audience, but they don't have a product. It seems like the perfect marriage. And in this case, I said, well, to hell with it. I'm going to do the packing cubes anyway. And despite the fact that they said it was competitive, I've been on Amazon now for about a year. I have 186 something reviews, 4.5 stars. I have a premium price tag. It's very expensive in comparison to the other packing cubes on Amazon, but it doesn't matter, because I'm not relying on Amazon, I'm not doing PPC, because if I did, people would see my product and then think, well, that's 3 times or 2 times more expensive than the Chinese brand that's being sold, so I'm gonna go with the cheaper option. So luckily, I found that actually didn't stop me from creating sales, and I'll share those numbers with you right now. And as far as the reviews go, I also didn't give away free products. So right now, product revenue to date is about $297,000 so far for 2019. My net profit, and that's so important, is to know the net profit, because you hear a lot about 6-figure months, 7-figure months, whatever that is, but sometimes it takes a lot of money that you invest in ads and free products to actually earn your profit. So I'm at a net profit so far about $100,000, and in just about a year and a half, a year or 2 years, my business the physical product brand has become 18% of my revenue. So that for me was pretty successful, considering it really was a side hustle for me, not my main business. Now, I told you guys that these guys told me my products weren't right for Amazon and they'd never sell, so I was really discouraged. And I personally don't want to get into 90-day funnels. I've got to make this email marketing campaign, whatever thing. I don't have time for that. So I decided just to go on Facebook Live and say, hey, let's see if these products will sell. So I sent out an email and told the audience that I had built over the past several years that I had a major announcement. I created an event invite on Facebook, because when you have a Facebook Live and you create an event invite, then Facebook will remind people that there's an event. They'll promote you for free. And the benefit of this pre-sale is not only did it validate my idea, not only was it easy to launch, I just went up there and did a 60-minute video, shared with people my story, my why, the pain points and everything, but It was so simple. I had immediate sales. And then I also would have future sales as well. I didn't have any competition because people were only looking at my product. I was able to reduce the risk drastically because I didn't have to invest any of my own money. And I also then had a waiting list. For the people that didn't buy in this 2-week period, I had a waiting list. So when the products actually hit Amazon, they went and I had a rush of buyers. So that was really cool because then I think in turn, it takes you from the 30th page down on Amazon to the 3rd page a little bit quicker than I would have gotten otherwise. Lastly, the biggest thing is I'm not depending on Amazon for sales. That's massive. So with a 1-hour Facebook Live in November 2017 and about 3 to 4 emails that I sent out, I had a $17,000 product launch. I had the money and then was able to produce these products and my idea was validated. So for me, that was very successful considering I'd been shut down for physical products. And just to show you how simple this was, and I know that my numbers, as far as a publisher goes, maybe not on Amazon as a seller, but as a publisher, they may seem larger and my community might seem larger, but I really did the minimum because I wasn't confident about what the product was that I had. So imagine if you did incorporate all the strategies, you did do the 90-day launch, you had a 4-week period and really strategic content promoting it in advance, you would do much higher than I did with a smaller audience. But my 4-email sequence looks kind of like this. Announcement 1 week before, letting people know during or at the end of the event, hey, this is what I launched in case you missed it. You have 2 weeks to buy it. Then 2 days before, 48 hours left. Make sure you get it, and this is your last chance. So it was really simple. I should have done more. I should have created way more emails, way more buzz, but I didn't, and it still worked. One quick thing I really want to share with you guys on this page is one of the email strategies that I incorporated this year or last year was that I resend my emails. So 48 hours after I send the email, I then resend to unopens 48 hours later. And you could just see this shot up my the total open rate to almost 50%. So that's been a good strategy for me so far, especially because some people say that email list building is dead. But that's where your core audience is going to be. So I've shared with you my sales strategy using my own audience. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to do this. So I'm going to also share with you the additional sales strategies that I'm implementing now to sell my physical products. Number 1, SEO. SEO on your website, SEO in your content, or SEO in other people's content. In this case, I've got packing cubes. I've created an article about packing cubes, how to use them. I've ranked it on Amazon. I'm up there competing with Amazon, with e-bags, with other retailers. But I managed to get up there, and that's pretty cool. But front page for packing cubes. But I'm also looking, well, what other publishers are ranking for packing cubes on the first, maybe even second page, because if they're that close, maybe they'll move a little higher. Or for long tails for packing cubes, best packing cubes, travel, whatever it is. I'm looking at the different options. And I'm contacting these publishers and saying, hey, I noticed that you have a blog post about this particular topic. And I just launched this new product. I wanted to share it with you, let you know that these are the reasons why it's unique, different, or that your customer base might like it. And also, one thing that I see so many e-commerce brands that do contact me like this, what they don't say is, also, we're on Amazon. So if you're an Amazon associate, you can earn commission. That's great because I know automatically they've done the work for me. This is a product, these are the benefits, and I can make money off of it. Now, some publishers will tell you no. They'll say yes, or they'll charge you for it. And depending on where they're ranking on that, for that keyword and the volume, you may or may not want to pay them. But in this case, I have a few influencers that I've contacted and they didn't charge me or they decided to include me in their list. So now I'm tapping into somebody else's audience and I can also have different revenue streams coming from different publishers, not just mine, because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. What if Google decides to penalize me for whatever algorithm change they might have? I can then distribute my options. Now, another way I sell my physical products is through my own email list, or you can also pay to have your product featured on other people's email lists. I take advantage of this email, of my newsletters. It's called the Frequent Flyer. We started doing that a couple months ago, and people really liked it. And I say, hey, our products are now available. They're sold out. We have only 20 pieces left. I create scarcity, and people always buy, which is great. Or I also show them that there's the demand. I actually haven't minded that a lot of times my products sell out because it creates a demand for them, a scarcity. They know that if they see something, they should buy it. And I'm not depending on Amazon to sit on a high-ranking spot, so that's pretty cool. I like that scarcity tactic as well. I'm also able to promote my Amazon affiliate blog post. I showed you guys earlier that boot article I made. So then I get to create double revenue on this newsletter by also getting commission for that. Also do that same thing on the blog post. And lastly, like this, I'm promoting another brand, not mine, an affiliate, but this could be you. You could also reach out to someone with an email list that you don't have and ask them how much it would cost. Sometimes when you're investing money outside of PPC, outside of ads, you'll be surprised at how little overhead it might cost you to create evergreen content. So starting a new product, you're going on Amazon, standard route. I'm sure a lot of you guys know how that goes. You might go on Kickstarter, go to the Kickstarter strategy to market a brand new product. You can then create your own website like I've been talking about so far, or you can work with someone like me, not me, but someone like me, that you can utilize their audience. And this was a really good example about how I've worked with influencers, despite the fact that I am an influencer. I looked up for the last holiday season, I looked up the best travel gift guides on Google. Travel gift guides, the best travel gifts, gifts for women, stuff like that. And I decided to look to see on Ahrefs, kind of like you look at Jungle Scout. For me, for Google, I use Ahrefs, and I determined who was ranking for these keywords. I contacted Food Fun Travel. They kept on popping up in the top of the search results. And I said, hey, I've got this new product. Would you be interested in featuring it? Mind you that I'm not sending these bloggers or influencers any free products for the most part. They're already making money like me just featuring products that they may or may not have, may or may not own. So it's pretty cost effective as well. Again, no, yes, or they'll charge you. In this case, Meg said yes, did not charge me. And then it turns out that my product was one of the best sellers in her gift guide. So it's also really good to get feedback from the bloggers because now I have a testimonial that says your product was the best. I've got social proof. So when I target other bloggers, I'll now be able to show them that they can make money if they feature my product. Also, I know that Food Fun Travel is a prominent blog. So if I did want to strategically gift her a free product, I know that she'd be more likely to accept and even give me a product review, a review that she might charge thousands of dollars for because she already knows that she can monetize my products. So I'd like to diversify my options, as maybe you've noticed, and I still want to work with influencers, but travel bloggers, travel influencers, they're inundated by people like me contacting them, sending them either products or letting them know, hey, include me in your guides. So I thought, well, what other type of bloggers and influencers would be able to utilize my products? I thought maybe, Disney bloggers, maybe family bloggers, and with the packing cubes, because of their unique organization system, organization influencers. So one of my team members researched some prominent YouTubers that were talking about packing cubes, but that weren't about travel. The organized soprano over here, we reached out in December and said, hey, we saw that you have an article about you have a video about packing. Would you be interested in checking out our new product? And she said, yes. She said, sure, I'll make a video for you. And I thought, she has 30,000 subscribers. It's not a huge amount, but it's a micro-influencer. She has a loyal audience, and you can tell by the likes versus dislikes. We have about 1,000. She had about 1,000 likes within a week of publishing that video, and only like 40 dislikes, which was awesome. So I know she has a loyal audience. She did this for free. It took her 3 months to get to the review, but I didn't pay her to do it. And you have to remember, you can't ask people, hey, I'll send you this $10 product and you make me a review. You're basically asking them to work for you for free. So keep that in mind when you're looking to work with influencers as well. So why this is powerful, I shared with you how I created this really pretty crappy video about packing cubes back in 2013, but it's evergreen. It's been selling for me affiliate revenue since then. I'm now able to insert my own links to my own products in that video. Likewise, she will continue to have this. Her audience will continue to grow because that's her, YouTube is her main focus. So now I have content that I can share on social, again, social proof, and different revenue streams. And because I have a background in marketing, and I still believe in marketing, traditional marketing, I do use experiential marketing in addition to online marketing. With experiential marketing, I'm a sponsor at conferences. And if you decide to be a sponsor at a conference, please do not bring a table and your pamphlets and expect people to go and speak to you. Create an interactive experience. That's what experiential marketing is all about. We bring over a photo booth. Hey, you want a free picture? And people love pictures. Why? It's a no-brainer. They'll publish it on Instagram for free. So I'm getting free marketing, whether it's an influencer or a potential customer, they're sharing my brand. So here, just give me your email and you can have a free picture. I'll send it to you. And that's how I'm doing guerrilla marketing, collecting emails, old school style. Also, I'm gifting at my booth because I find it so much more effective than just giving your product and putting it in the general gift bag because people don't have a chance to interact with you, learn about you, or you don't get a chance to get their email in exchange for that gift bag. And people see these pretty packages and they come and ask about them. They love that. So create an experience. And doing these for conferences, people have actually invited me to the conference and not charged me to be a sponsor because I'm giving their audience value, which is a really nice surprise for the photo booth experience. And I'm targeting really niche conferences, female, travel, influencers, and also consumer conferences as well. So that's been pretty cool. An example of how this has worked for me is I did a conference in LA, only about 50 attendees, and I didn't pay anything for that particular sponsorship or that particular conference. And hey, Ashley Renee, someone that came up to the booth, really was excited about the photo booth, went and did a video, shared the photo booth picture on her Instagram story. Little did I know she had over 70,000 Instagram followers, and she charges $3,000 to $5,000 to work with brands. But I gave her packing cubes. She then went back home to her hotel with another influencer and talked about how to use these packing cubes. Created a whole Instagram story, like 4 or 5 videos, giving me free access to her 80,000 followers for free. That's very powerful, and I love these opportunities because I'm getting access to people I wouldn't normally get access to. And that's what I really want to impart on you today. And these strategies is you don't have to feel overwhelmed about starting a whole new business because starting a website and publishing is something completely different to what you may already be doing. But you also don't have to be intimidated by higher numbers because I do know people that are just coming into the market and they're totally knocking me off the search results, which I'm not okay with, but I see what their strategies are. They're e-commerce brands, they're building websites, they're creating really good content, and it is possible to come in now versus 7 years ago when I came in. So don't be intimidated by that. Ultimately, the biggest thing, and one of the things that has really helped me grow the business over the years is really remembering your goals. Because when I launched the physical product brand, I told you that people discouraged me and they said the products wouldn't work. But remembering why I wanted to launch the products helped me get through that. And you've got to decide, are you chasing the next fidget spinner? Do you want money? What's selling? I want some cash now. Are you trying to build a business and flip it? Do you want an opportunity like that? Or what's your why? My why is to build a long-lasting business. My why with Compass Rose Travel Accessories is to spread my bets in case Travel Fashion Girl doesn't end up working one day, or I could also repurpose the packing cubes and sell them to other markets as well. So there's a lot more opportunities in that case, and 18% of the revenue has been awesome. My goals were to diversify income stream, build a long-lasting brand, and all I wanted was, what's the worst that I could actually want from this brand? $5,000 in profit that would sustain my lifestyle, scuba diving and living in Playa del Carmen. And that's what I would be really happy with. That was my minimum goal. And I'm very excited to say that by taking action, that I've now have a really pretty successful, at least for me, for the minimal effort that I'm taking with it. I've created consistent revenue, 18% of my business. So far this year, our projected gross sales are almost $500,000, $500,000, not too bad. So pretty stoked about that. And then the profit is slightly more than the $5,000 profit a month that I was looking for. So remembering your why. And don't get caught up in the numbers. Don't get caught up in the 6, 7-figure everything, because those numbers are not always what they seem. They're always gross. They're not net. So don't be intimidated by other people. Remember to listen to their sales strategies and listen to how to create a funnel, how to do this. But remember to apply it to you and your needs, what makes sense for your business, because you don't need to take action on everything you see. Just apply it to your own business. And if for the past 40 minutes you missed what I said, pretty simple. Create value, create a relationship, and those two beautifully create organic sales. So thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. If you guys need to get in contact with me, alex@travelfashiongirl.com, and I will be taking any questions now. There.
Hey.
Hi.
So I have a yoga brand and I work a lot with influencers already, but I want to actually create a product with an influencer, but I'm super nervous about reaching out and saying like, hey, I know you have this giant audience and I would love to help you create a product. So if, let's pretend for a second that I had some sort of travel accessory and I'm reaching out to you, what would you want to hear from me to let you know that I'm serious, capable? Like, what would you think would make a good impression on you?
The biggest thing that nobody does is asking us. We're also running a business. And when people approach us, it's always, what can you do for me? Give me this. I need this from you, versus this is what I can offer you. I can offer you a potential new revenue stream, the opportunity to make 20 to 50% more, or whatever you're currently making, I can add more money to that. Talk to them about what you can do for them, and ask them, what kind of product, if you ever wanted to have a product, what would those things be? What would you like it to include? Really make it about them and build a relationship with them as well. So that way it's two-way. Talk about percentages as well. That's a big thing that people don't speak about, because I want to know, well, why should I give you my time? Are you looking to give me like 5% a flat fee? You can do that as well. I know that bloggers will receive flat fees to participate with brands as a creative director. They'll help you co-create a product, and then you can then also have them as a marketing whatever to promote it to their audience. So there's different ways. Ultimately, ask them what they need. Oh, sorry. Yes?
Hi, I have a question on like how you're getting your influencers. I'm having problems with kind of what she was saying, getting influencers to respond back to me. So is there any specific metrics also that you use on like who you should be targeting for influencers? Like, should I only be targeting, certain, Instagram followers, or should I actually maybe target those newer Instagram follow, people first, or like what's your thoughts on that?
I'd say for sure, do not look at the numbers like mine. Like, don't reach out to me and try to, sell me olive oil or give me olive oil that I won't be able to sell for you. Or even with the higher volume numbers, really what you want to look at are for bloggers that are very niche. Micro influencers are really popular with brands right now. People with about 1,000 to 5,000, under 10,000 Instagram followers, for example. And remember, well, what kind of product do you have? I was speaking to my chiropractor the other day and asking him, well, why are you trying to have an Instagram account? I'd say that the majority of your customers are probably over 30, over 35. So they're on Facebook. So depending on what your product is, also think about what social media channel you want to use and look at their engagement. Numbers aren't everything. Look to see if they're responding to their readers, to their audience, how the audience is speaking to them. Because with trust, that's really how they'll be able to sell for you. And it's a quantity game as well. The more people you reach out to, make it personal. Please don't say, hi, Travel Fashion Girl. Like, look up my name. Hi, Alex. I saw that you talk about packing. I've got this new suitcase, and it's really unique because right away. Don't lie to me and say, I'm a huge fan, I love this blog post or whatever. Really just be genuine. You want to take the time to work with, to get to know the influencer. And personally for me, if I have a budget, let's say I have $10,000. I might split that up like $5,000 to work with a mid to higher range influencer. Paying for certain things might be cheaper than you might think. And remember, it's evergreen content. I'd pay for a blog post or a video on YouTube. I wouldn't pay for an Instagram story or an Instagram picture. For me, Instagram doesn't really drive sales because my audience shops on Facebook. That demographic shops more. So I don't spend that much time there. And remember to also mention Amazon Associates. If you're on Amazon, let them know that. Really key points. Yes.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
If you were to start all over again, what are the 3 things that you would have focused on?
SEO still. That was major. That's been a major, that was a blessing to learn SEO from day one. So that 100% I would not change that. But I would go in with a bit more strategy. 2012, there really wasn't as much information about the breadth of information there is now. So I think now there's a big advantage because you can take courses, go to conferences like this, get a mentor. That actually was one of the most important things as well for me is having a mentor. Luckily, I was able to find someone that saw potential in me and said, I don't want you to pay me, I just want you to pay it forward. So now I mentor somebody else that also has potential. And for me, it's all about giving back. But a mentor, you can also decide to work with someone specifically. It's worth investing in your business because they'll be able to expedite your growth. They'll be able to see other opportunities you might not be able to see. And lastly, hiring people. When I started hiring people, I was able to spend more time working on the things that brought me money versus working on the smaller details, administrative stuff. Every time I've hired and invested in my team, I've always grown. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit.
All right. Well, there you have it. Hopefully your light bulbs are just flashing boom, boom, boom with all of these different ideas and these things that you can do either in your existing business. Now, here's the deal. If you're listening to this and you're already selling on Amazon, but you're like, you know what? I'm at risk of something happening there. I need to build out my external channels. Well, then this is for you, okay? Then you need to be doing this, all right? If you're starting from scratch, well, you would start here and then you could bolt on some products later, all right? So we're not saying we're anti-Amazon at all. I mean, Alex is doing really, really well with Amazon. The physical product brand that I talk a lot about as the new brand, which is about 2.5 years old now, we've bolted on products, right? And we've bolted on additional assets that bring in traffic, but we've really switched our focus to building traffic because that turns into money. You can monetize all of that traffic and there's different ways that you can do it. And we talk all about that inside of the free training and inside of Brand Creators Academy. So once again, a little reminder, if you have not gone through the free training, make sure that you do, make sure that you validate your market, your brand, and you can do that by heading over to brandcreators.com. And then also, if you are at all interested, if this is before January 6th, 2020, make sure that you get on that wait list. So when we open, you have the opportunity to join us if you are ready and if you would like to be part of our Brand Creators Academy community. All right. So brandcreators.com. That's the simple way to get over there, get that free training, make sure that you go through it. And this way here, you'll have a really, really good idea of what you need to do. What are your next steps to building out your business and your brand? All right, guys. So that is it. That's going to wrap up this episode. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you and I am rooting for you, but you have to, come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day. And I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Oh, hey guys, before you go, I wanted to ask a quick favor. If you have not yet left a review for us on iTunes, if you could do that, that would be amazing. I read every single one of them, even the 1 stars. And yes, they're going to be there. You can't make everyone happy. I understand. But if you've gotten any kind of value from this podcast, it really helps me to get fired up to see what this podcast is doing for you. And it also helps us reach more people by you leaving a review on iTunes. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. And while you're there, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, do that as well. This way here, you'll never miss an upcoming episode. All right. So if you can do that, that'd be amazing. Talk to you later. Bye.